Alright, this is Panic Man 10. I come up with another subject idea, and I hope that we have enough time to cover this within the amount of time that we have to talk about things. And all my topics that I have listed, please get back to me on and let me know what you'd like me to discuss further, and I'll go into further details of all my topics. Tonight's topic is going to be ancient Egypt and the Bible, what's true and what isn't. Now this is just a brief little summation kind of thing of what we learned. I'm an Egyptologist myself kind of thing, and a paranormal psychologist. Anyway, so with that being said, I like to get on with this. What really happened was that for the parts of the Bible that are true, it was over embellished. For the rest of it, it's just basically a really good tool of a way to live your life, morally and justly right kind of thing. For the parts that were over embellished, you got the thing like the 7 plagues of ancient Egypt. Understand that most of this stuff was actually natural occurrences, okay, kind of thing, like the rains, which is the inundation period, 6 months of monsoon rains. Also, the thing about the firstborn being killed is not the way that they depict in the movies and that sort of thing, that it's a little baby. It's actually, you got paid by how much work you did in the field. The more work you did in the field, the more food you got paid. Unfortunately, their granary silts had no slits in them, thus airing out and ventilating all the food, so the people died of food poisoning. So the more harder you worked, the more food you got, the more likely you got food poisoning. That's what happened with the firstborn being killed kind of thing. There's a lot of other things that have happened there, but it's all natural phenomenon really when you get right down to it and that sort of thing. And what was real and what wasn't. Okay, the building of the pyramids, here's a very interesting thing right here. The slaves were not used to build the pyramids at all. And this is a fact, because think about this for a second, okay, and use common knowledge here, okay? Really, listen to what I have to say here, okay? The fact is that what they did was, during the 6 months of the inundation period, which was monsoon rains, okay, they could float and quarry rocks up and down the Nile all the way up to the base of the Sphinx, actually, which is like about a mile away from Cairo, to be honest with you. Now, the thing is this, okay, who are they going to employ? The slaves, who are there, kind of thing, and taking up space, or the people that actually live there and work there, like the farmers who are unemployed now, need to feed their families, and because they need to feed their families, they have no work, so who are they going to employ? Of course they're going to employ their own kind. So naturally they employed the farmers. Plus it was considered an honor and a privilege to build something in the likes of the living God, okay, which was the Pharaoh at the time. Now, this being said, they are not going to have slaves build things that are considered of great importance to them, that being something of a significant higher power, such as the living God. So what ended up happening was this: they ended up building it based off of employing their army when their army wasn't at war, and employing their farmers when they were out of work for 6 months so that they could feed their families. That's basically who built the pyramids kind of thing. No UFOs, ramps were used. There's plain logic and plain scientific fact to all of this. Also too, like I said, it was considered an honor, and that the slaves were not used, and this would be considered blasphemy. Understand that in their religion that they had over 800 gods, and there's tons of stuff that I could get into this with all of you out there. Challenge is that you only got 10 minutes on this thing, so I apologize. I welcome all of your comments. I hopefully haven't offended anybody. And if you'd like to know more about what has been over-embellished and what hasn't, then I'll be happy to explain it to you. One last footnote is that another thing that was over-embellished was when the parting of the Red Sea never really happened. What it was that about 100 chariots got stuck in a shallow marsh, and they were ambushed from the rocks kind of thing. And because they couldn't move anywhere, they had no place to go, thus no place to hide from the enemy, and they were slaughtered kind of thing. So no waves coming in and crashing down on the chariots and killing everybody. That didn't happen either. The simple thing about Moses slamming the staff on the ground, that was done by a snake charmer who actually wrapped the snake around the cane, and the hilt of it kind of thing was the head, and then when it was slammed on the ground, the snake actually came to, out of its mesmerization and came through kind of thing. So these are just some examples of what happened kind of thing back in those times. You got to understand that the Bible was written by man. so therefore the male influence is obvious kind of thing. There are some female influences in that too, but not that much, not that significant as it was a male-dominant society back then. So if you have any suggestions, any questions about anything like this, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Thank you for watching. And also too, quick little footnote, is that if you have any questions about the 7 plagues of Egypt, anything specifically, there are biblical scholars, understand, that are in the field that approach it from a neutral standpoint. They're not pro or con one way or the other. They go out and prove or to disprove what is out there. And what has been proven has been over-embellished big time. Thus, the parting of the Red Sea, thus, the firstborn dying, for example. And these are just some examples. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for your time.